Hey guys, welcome back to Joe Silverback Show, and this is part 2 of religion, beliefs, and the archetypes. I wanted to I gave myself some time to digest some of the comments and some of the feedback, and also thinking about some of the stuff that was said in part 1. Belief. We have a belief in something. Ayn Rand says, philosophy, who needs it? Everyone has a philosophy. It's just about whether or not we know what our philosophy is. So translate philosophy to belief. Everyone has a belief system. It just depends on whether or not you know what your belief system is. And the very, very incredible thing about transpersonal psychological work, meditative work, spiritual work, interpersonal work is getting to know thyself. And getting to know thyself is getting to know what I believe in. And if you don't think you believe in something, believe me, belief motivates everything that you do. So it's really good to get clear on what that is. And secondly, as I've said before, as we're throwing out the bathwater, we've got to be analyzing, do we want to throw the baby out with it? So as we are, have moved, from humanism into machinism, into technologyism, away from the major religious values that have brought us thus far over the last couple thousand of years. Let's look at where we're going with our beliefs and what we want to leave behind with our beliefs. Because again, once again, beliefs are what drive us, and the archetypes are what are in our collective unconscious, whether or not we are aware of them or want to recognize them. And they come up. They come up in the shadow self. They come up in our dark side, and they come up in our shining light. So we got to understand the darkness as well as the light, and that again is all about mind, heart, body, spirit connection. So what I have come to agree on and see very, very clearly is that we put our attention into science and technology. That's where our deepest beliefs are today. And all you have to do is ask yourself, if you had a chance to do something through medical technology or artificial intelligent technology so that you could live for 500 years, would you do it? Even if it meant renouncing your religion, which is against doing it. It's a good thing to think about. It's a good thing to think about. We are, as E.O. Wilson mentions, at a Faustian decision-making moment in human consciousness. As we are moving so fast out of evolutionary hereditary biology, in other words, as our dependence upon genes adapting over eons of time to make changes is now coming to heads with what we think of as the great human experiment, the great human brain, the genius of the human being's ability to manipulate the genome and recreate what a human being is. So again, if you believe in God and you believe that God created man in a certain way, or if you believe in nature and you believe that nature evolved human being over trial and error over lots and lots of years. either one of those belief systems or systems of knowledge, depending on your thought process, is coming into direct confrontation with who's in control of the fate and destiny of the new man, the new baby that's going to be born, the new parent or grandparent who's going to be able to live another 100 years or another 300 years. Some people are investing their money into living forever. So fact, fantasy, science fiction, science, my comments here are coming into belief systems. So the biophilia hypothesis, the love of life, the love of nature, the connection to our animal past and our animal upbringing in the Garden of Eden and out of the Garden of Eden, has some pretty deep, scary, archetypal shadow figures in our unconscious that we've been dealing with for a long, long time. Snakes and spiders. And just look at all the movies that were made with snakes and spiders, and just think about all the dreams that have had snakes and spiders. And you know, and that brings up, have you made peace with the snakes and spiders inside your own dreams and inside your own imagination and inside your own consciousness? What do snakes and spiders mean? Are snakes bad? Are spiders bad? Or is just our inability to understand their place in the web of life what's bad? Think about that. Sharks. I tell you, I grew up at the seashore, and I'm a swimmer, and I'm an ocean swimmer, and I'm a wave rider, I'm a body surfer, and I've been in this ocean over 50 years, and I put my hands down on my balls and hold my crotch when I'm in the deep. It's pretty powerful stuff, what's in the deep. And what's in the deep ocean, whether you're looking at Ahab and the whale, or whether you're looking at protecting your balls in the surf, whether dolphins are coming nearby you and you're not sure whether they're going to come and get too jolly close to you. Man's awareness of the deep and the embracing what's in the hidden dream world of our unconscious mind go together. Again, nature inside, nature outside. Why transpersonal psychology is about following your dreams as well as following, you know, your daytime dreams, your nighttime dreams, your subconscious dreams, learning to embrace your shadow side and learning to embrace the snake and the spider and the dragon as yourself. And that's part of the hero's journey. The hero's journey is to conquer the dragon, to kill and chop the head off the snake. Well, the hero's journey is also the Ouroboros, which is the snake eating its tail. So that is the state of unconsciousness that man came into existence in, and that's a state of unconsciousness that man needs to connect to and make more aware of in his own conscious self. That's a lot to think about. I wanted to, as always, bring back some things to the Silverback and the Silverback Principle, and how some basic principles that I grew up with, I think, apply today people have asked me about different individual and group concerns that some people are sensitive about today, and what my response to my own children has always been, and what my response is to anybody's children and any parent, adult, speaking to a child or an adolescent or a young adult, or speaking to an adult who hasn't quite grown up yet, is stop being a crybaby. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody cares about what you're crying about. Nobody. You're alone in this world. You came into this world alone, and you'll go out alone. And you need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And the sooner you understand that the world is a messy place, and the world is a tough place, and there's spiders and snakes and dragons, and as soon as you come to understand and accept that every spider and every snake and every dragon that you see out there, that you've projected on to some other individual, to your parents, to your church, to society, to some other group that's not like you, just take the mirror and see yourself and point the finger back at yourself. The finger pointing at oneself is probably the most important kind of self-analysis one can do. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. That's what my mother told me over and over and over again. I've talked to you guys about some of my seminar work and in my writing courses. And Dr. Jaffe also turned us on to another book that angered me, frustrated me, frazzled me, puzzled me, thus the name Knots. R.D. Laing's book Knots deals with not straight things, twisted things. And consciousness and the mind can be a very twisted place. At the end of the book, toward the end of the book, there was one of my favorite knots on Nirvana, and it was kind of a joke on Nirvana, but it's also a play on Nirvana, but it's also serious about Nirvana, because anybody who's studied Buddhism and anybody who's done any meditation understands the paradox of the self. And one of the last knots in this collection of knots was about the finger and where and what to do with it. And he says, oh, it's a finger. I will suck on it. Yeah, suck on your finger, okay? Suck on your thumb, suck on your finger, and don't point it at anybody else. Namaste.